Hi, my name is Sarah C. Cates, and I'm here today to talk with you about hosting an event on campus and the Cultural Awareness Program. As the Cultural Awareness Program Coordinator for 2022 and 2023, I'm really excited to share some tips and maybe how we might best support you as you bring exciting events to our campus. So let's go ahead and get started. Just to let you know what we'll be talking about in this Flex presentation is really what is the Cultural Awareness Program, or CAP as we often call it. What type of funding do we have, and what type of funding can you apply for? How do you apply for CAP funding? And what are some resources or support that we have in place to really guide you through the event planning process? So first, I just want to start with a little bit about what is the Cultural Awareness Program. We are a group that really supports the creation of events and programming that really engages our campus and our regional community around building cultural competency, as well as focusing on unity, equity, restorative, and social justice. We have been supporting campus events since the year 2000 at Delta College. And we are a group that's made up of a lot of different people, faculty, staff, and students. So we're always welcoming new members. If, as you learn more about the Cultural Awareness Program, you decide that this is a great fit for you, I hope you reach out. We would love to have you on our committee. So you're thinking about having a program at some point this year. What can the Cultural Awareness Program do for you? First, we're going to talk about funding your event. How can we make sure that you get the funding that you need to have the event that you want? Second, we're going to talk about resources, like what does it look like to plan an event on this campus? What do you need to do, the steps? What resources do we have in place to help you market that, things like this. And finally, we'll talk about how we can support you in doing this. I want to be really clear that the Cultural Awareness Program is not an organization that plans events for the campus. We support you in planning events. So for example, I've produced a lot of events on our campus, and I am the CAP chairperson, but I don't produce those events on behalf of CAP. I do it for other groups that I'm a part of, or even just as a professor who wants to bring a cool author for my students. CAP won't produce the events, you're the producer, but we will support you in that goal. So let's talk about the basics. We're going to start here with funding. As of fall 2022, CAP can fund certain things. So if you want to bring a workshop to the campus, if you want to bring a guest lecture, some type of performance, if you want to have an author come and talk to your class, do an artist question and answer, any of those are appropriate as long as they support the CAP mission statement. The CAP mission statement is located on our website, but it's also what we had just talked about when we introduced CAP. It's right, supporting cultural understanding, essentially. CAP can fund the payment of people, right? And so it's the people who create the workshop. It's the people who come in and lecture or have a performance. Now, in order for CAP to support an event financially, the event has to be open to the entire campus community, students, staff, and faculty. The event also has to be completely free, right? So we don't support events that are also places where people are paying to get in. Now, your event can be in person on our main campus or our Mountain House campus, or it can be online. We've supported different events in both kind of platforms. A lot of times people think that it has to be attached to one of the celebratory months that we have on campus. So for example, Latinx Heritage Month, or Black History Month, or Women's History Month, or Pride Month, or Native American History Month, or Asian Pacific Islander History Month. Your event doesn't have to be attached to any of these things, although we do welcome lots of different events during that time. So let's talk about what CAPS cannot fund. We cannot pay for food, drinks, decorations, or material. We cannot reimburse you for a receipt. We cannot buy the things ourselves. We're really here to support financially the bringing of someone on our campus to do something with our students, whether that's a performance or a workshop or a lecture or a question and answer. I want to be also really transparent in that we cannot pay a student club. We could potentially pay students who are leading a workshop or a lecture, but we cannot directly pay a student club. We also cannot directly pay a campus employee, whether that is a classified member or a faculty member. If you want to have an event like this, and it is time consuming, you as a faculty member, whether you're a part-time faculty member or a full-time faculty member, you are always welcome to claim the time related as flex. We cannot fund events that are only open to a small part of our community. So if it's just your student club and no one else is invited, or if it's just your classroom and no one else is invited, that's not something we can fund. If, however, you're willing to open it up to the entire campus, we would be happy to consider your application. And we also can't fund events where you have to pay to participate. So one of the main questions I get was, how much can CAP fund? And I want to be clear here that general applications are considered for up to $2,000, but that the funding is really going to differ based on the experience and the current rate of the performers or the person that you're bringing in. Normally, the applications that we see generally run from about $250 to $1,000. I would say the average is $250 to about $750. In special circumstances, we can consider applications beyond $2,000, but that's really on a case-by-case basis, and it's something that you and I would need to have a conversation about before we went through the process of applying for CAP funds. Now, when you're asking for funds, you're asking for the performer to be paid for their services, and it's a payment of a flat rate. So what I mean by that is that we don't provide travel funding. Someone's coming to our campus, they're going to be paid $500. We're going to give them $500. We're not going to give them $500 plus mileage or $500 plus a hotel. It's a flat rate. If your cost exceeds the $2,000, but you have another, maybe it's an employee group or an outside organization or a student club that's going to finance the rest of what CAP can't cover, then that is something we need to have a conversation about before you apply. So that's just possible, and I'm happy to help you through it, but I want to make sure you kind of reach out so we can involve the right people to kind of talk through what that might look like. All right, so far we've covered what CAP is, what CAP can fund, how much CAP can fund. Let's talk about what applying for CAP's funding looks like. First, I want you to visit the CAP website. This is really easy. You can type in Cultural Awareness Program in the search box of the Delta website, so you don't have to remember all of these things. And here we are at the Cultural Awareness Program. Our homepage has some important information for you, like our mission statement. But what you really need to know here is the CAP event proposal and the event planning guide. All right, so let's take a look at what the application looks like. This is fillable once you download it, so you'll be able to fill it out. You don't have to print it and rescan it. You can just fill it out electronically. Helpful tips while you're filling this out. You are the event producer. You as a Delta College staff member or faculty member are the producer of this event. So I need all of your contact information to be filled out. The event information needs to be filled out here. Now, if you don't have the exact title and it changes later, that's okay. What we really need to know here is the date. What date is this event going to be? If you don't know the start time or the end time, that's okay. An approximation is great. Again, the date is most important because it impacts how we're going to process payment and everything for the person who may be coming. Then let us know what this event is going to look like. Is it in person? Is it virtual? And if it's in person, tell us the location. If it is in person, we want to know, have you secured a location yet? And we're going to talk about that a little later in the presentation, how to go about doing that. You can let us know yes or no. We'd love to have an estimate of how many people might be attending. And then we really want you to provide a detailed description of the event. So what's going to happen to this eventually? This application is going to come to the CAP code or chairperson, coordinator, and then it's going to go out to the CAP committee, and they're going to decide if this is approved or not. And so what I really ask you is to tell me not only what is going to happen at your event, like why, what's the goal? How is this going to enrich our students? Because these other members of the cultural awareness program may not be familiar with your field. So they really want to know why it's so important for your students to hear from this guest speaker that you're bringing in. How is it going to help our larger community or your students specifically? So tell us as much as you can about what the event looks like. And then you make the case as to why CAP should fund it, right? So that's why you're sharing with us why you believe this meets the CAP mission statement. And again, that's really handy on our website. It's on the first page, the home page of the Cultural Awareness Program website. Then you're going to fill in about the presenter. You are not the presenter. The presenter is the person or people that you are bringing to campus. So if it's an individual here, right, you're filling out their name. If they have a legal name, you want to put that, and then you can put the name they go by to the side. And you want to make sure that you have at least a contact number and an email address at this point. Eventually, we will absolutely need to have the address. But for getting started and applying, you can't go any further without an email address. Really important here is the amount that they're asking for. So sometimes I have the question, well, I'm bringing 2 people in, and that's great. I'm excited that you're bringing 2 people in. All you have to do is attach another, you can attach a Word document that has this information here. And you need to be really clear, like who's getting paid what. Let's say you have 2 speakers, and you're going to tell us the name of the speakers, the address, the email, the website, and the contact information. And then you're going to be really clear that, okay, these 2 speakers, speaker A is going to get $250 and speaker B is going to get $250 for a total of $500 for this event. Or let's say they're both going to be here, but speaker A is going to get $500 and speaker B is going to get $50 because they're just there for 5 or 10 minutes, right? Whatever the amount is needs to be really clear if there's more than 1 people, and you can just attach this with your application. Sometimes you may be bringing an organization in, and the organization or the company may be paid. And if that's the case, right, we need their business license number to move forward. So it's really important that if it's a speaker fee for a company organization, all of this is filled out. Now, down towards the end, you might notice something for printing. The Cultural Awareness Program can also support printing needs. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But if you want printing, it's really important that you check that and you let us know how much you want. The other expenses are not things that will be covered by CAP, but you may want to tell us about other additional expenses. And if other people are paying for that, you want to let us know here too. We'd like to learn more about how you heard from us, so you can let us know if you've ever had a CAP event sponsored before and how you heard about us. Okay, so you just looked at the application, you fill that out, and you email it to the CAP coordinator. Again, for 2022 or 2023, that's me, Sarah C. Cates. What's really important to us is that you send this to us 6 weeks prior to the event date. I know that seems really far in advance, but making sure that people get paid can be a complicated process that involves a lot of people. And so the reason we ask for 6 weeks is so that, 1, the Cultural Awareness Committee can review the application. We give ourselves enough time to look at that. But then 2, so that you can have enough time to reach out to that speaker or that performer and get them and help them fill out the paperwork, like the W-9 form, so that all of the forms are on record with us before the event takes place. And so that's why we need really 6 weeks prior to the event date. All right, so you've submitted your application. Before you do that, just a reminder of helpful tips. Please apply as soon as possible to ensure careful consideration, to ensure that we have the funding, right? Because we get a new budget every year. So that if we have questions, we can work with you and get any of the issues solved early. CAP does not consider late submissions. This is something we talked about as a group and we really hold firm to. So if you don't meet that 6-week requirement, we cannot approve your funding. When you're filling out the paperwork, as a friendly reminder, you are the producer. you want to make sure you include as much information as you can about the performers. But we can't approve if we don't have, like, say, like the business license number if it's a company, or the legal name, email address, and phone number if it's a person. If there's multiple performers, make sure you attach that document. And please make sure that you're paying attention and you check if you want us to cover printing. So what happens after you apply? This will be sent out by the CAP chairperson to the committee. We'll review your application and vote to approve or deny. The CAP coordinator will then reach out to you via email to let you know what you need to do next. And there is stuff that you need to do next. And rather than get into too many details about it here, I have a really clear email about what form you need to fill out, when you need to fill that out, and who it goes to. And so it's things like a W-9 form. It's really things that will ensure that the speaker or the performer or the performers are paid and paid quickly. If approved, you'll need to work with them to make sure that the paperwork is submitted on time. And if you have any questions about this, we just ask that you reach out, right? We're happy to answer your questions. But similarly, if we have questions about your application or about the forms or about the performer, then we're going to send you an email. And so we're asking that you just check your email regularly and respond, as soon as you can. Okay, so congratulations. You have brainstormed an event, you have contacted the person, seen how much they're charging, you filled out an application. Let's say that CAP has approved it. What do you do next? Or let's say you want to put on an event that's totally free. You're going to give a lecture for the larger public, and you want to know how to go about securing a location and all the things that come next. So these are really the resources that CAP wants to provide you with. And these are all from our program guide. So our program guide, which we saw here, right? I'm at the homepage. I went to the event proposal and event planning guide. I clicked on this, and here's what it looks like. It really lays out what events we can sponsor. How do you apply for a CAP event? If your event is approved, what will happen? But then also for anyone planning an event on campus, how do I find a location? What do I do for setup? What about keys? How do I distribute flyers? Where do I go for help with that? How do I market this? And what should happen on the day of the event, right? So it's a comprehensive 6.5-page document that will really help you. But I wanted to highlight some of the things that we are talking about here. And that is, where can I have the event? And the first thing you need to know is that you have to do your part to secure the location. So again, CAP is going to support you with this resource guide, with funding, but it's on you as the producer of the event to secure the location. So to do so, we're going to ask you to reach out to the facilities and reservations specialist. And the email there is events@deltacollege.edu. Now, you may be familiar with her. Tina Leal is who is currently the facilities and reservations specialist. You need to secure that location with her 4 weeks in advance. So where should you have this event? It really depends on how many people you're expecting. Delta College has some really wonderful locations. Some of them are outside, Dolores Huerta Plaza, the President's Patio. Some of them are inside, right? Any of the classroom spaces. If you're looking to host a really large event, my suggestion is always the forums first, because it's traditionally people inside Delta College and classes that are there. But we also have, if you're expecting a lot of people, Tilly Lewis Theater or Atherton Auditorium. Sometimes those are harder to get in, right? Because we have various groups on campus using them, performances that are set up. We also have outside groups that rent them. So it may be harder to secure those locations. Now, if your application is approved by CAP and you expect that really large audience, the fees for using Atherton Auditorium or Tilly Lewis Theater can be waived. And if you want to apply to CAP just to waive these fees, you are welcome to do that. But I do want to let you know, right, Atherton Auditorium, Tilly Lewis Theater are a little harder to secure. If you have a large crowd, but not super large crowd, the forms are really great. And Tina's so wonderful at really helping you match up with a space that's open to the expected amount of people you're going to have. Online events are also really, really wonderful. And we hope that you consider using pre-registration for Zoom meetings, just so you can kind of keep track yourself of how many people are coming and who's coming. And if you need help with that, just reach out. I'm happy to have a Zoom meeting with you or walk you through it in person. So that's the location. Where do you want to have the event? Well, it's up to you. When should you have the event? I always recommend that people check the Delta College event calendar and the academic calendar. And the reason for this is that sometimes we forget that spring break is happening during a certain week, and suddenly the CAP gets an application that's during spring break. We really don't want that to happen, because there may not be students who are there to support your event. So take a look at the calendar first. Likewise, the event calendar has major events. You may not want to schedule it at the same time. It's really important that you know that CAP cannot approve events during summer break or holiday breaks like winter break or spring break. We really want students to come to these events. And so right now we're focusing on the academic year of fall and spring semesters, not when we're not having classes and not in the summer. We really want to encourage you to host your event during college hour. That's going to be Thursdays from 12:30 to 1:30. And the reason for this is that sometimes we have less classes scheduled at that moment. And so more students and colleagues and faculty and staff could potentially come. Outdoor events that are going to require sound application, they're going to have to take place at that time. And you can talk to Tina Leal, the events coordinator, really to finalize and look at those details that are needed. So you've picked a time, you've picked a place, you've picked a location. What else do you need to worry about? You may have decided to have an event outdoors in Dolores Huerta Plaza, but you need tables to be set up. If you need tables to be set up, you will need to fill out a work order. The work order is pretty self-explanatory. You can type in work order or maintenance and go through their website in the Delta College search desk or search bar. What I really want to be clear about, though, is that for each of the things listed here, for setup, for takedown, for HVAC or custodial services, you would need to do a separate work order. So let's say you need 10 chairs and 5 desks or 5 tables. You need to fill out one for setup and one for takedown. Let's say it was an indoor event and you wanted to make sure the air conditioning was on, and that's not a classroom we usually use. You want to make sure that the air is on by filling out a work order about HVAC. And then finally, let's say that your event is outdoors and there's going to be a lot of food, and so you need extra trash cans and you want to make sure that it's cleaned up after. You need a separate work order for custodial services. All of these need to be done 2 weeks in advance. So I know you know how to do a work order, but if you have any questions, you can let me know. You also need to think about keys, especially if this is in a classroom that you don't normally teach in or you don't normally utilize. So 2 weeks prior to the event, you're going to need to email keys at deltacollege.edu to request a key for that event space. Make sure you pick it up and make sure you return it. Let's say that you want to make sure that you have access to the internet or a microphone, any of your audiovisual equipment needs or internet access. You would need to contact IT and facilities 2 weeks prior to the event. And if you need additional security, you also want to reach out to the chief of police. And that is going to require actually 21 days in advance. So again, if you need special seating arrangements, if you need tables and chairs, you want to do those work orders in advance. You need to make sure you're thinking about how to get a key. If you need special equipment like a microphone, or you need extra security, these are important things to think about. All right, so you've got it all set, and now you want to get the word out about your program. So let's talk about printing. CAP can pay for printing of publicity materials. You can request money to bring a guest speaker. Let's say it's $500. And then $50 for printing on top of that. If we're going to be doing the printing, then the printing is done in-house through the Publication Center's online print shop. I think that's pretty straightforward and easy to use. Many of you have used it already. Excuse me. So I'm not going to walk you through the entire process of this, but essentially you'll log in and you can fill out a graphic design request. If you select this as an option that you want to have printing done, we're going to contact with you. We're going to email you and have contact about the next steps for this. But I want to be clear that even if you don't ask for printing from us, you can still use the Publication Center's online print shop to fill out a graphic design request, to have them design a beautiful flyer for your event. And that could be totally digital, that could be printed out, it could be black and white, it could be color. They're going to do that for you. They do need you to do this as soon as possible, but they need absolutely 2 weeks in order to get that done. So sometimes we know that that doesn't always happen, and maybe you're designing the flyer yourself. We want to make sure that it adheres to brand standards. We're also going to ask that you include the CAP logo, which you can find in our resource guide, and we will email you that CAP logo as well once you've been approved, or a simple statement that says the event was sponsored by the Cultural Awareness Program. And we ask that you send us a digital copy of the flyer for our record. So I just kind of wanted to show you what it looks like when we get really awesome flyers from campus. So these were designed by Leah Washington on behalf of our campus. What I did, these were both events that I produced, and I sent the information I wanted in that online graphic request. And I told her a little bit about what the event was like. I sent some pictures, and they just turned out so wonderful. The author to the right said she really wanted her to design her next book. So this is really great if one of your strengths is not designing flyers. I know that I didn't go to school for that. So I really love that this is a tool that we can use. That said, I've found myself many times trying to produce something without the 2 weeks notice. And so I have tried something called canva.com, and I find it really easy to use. I designed all of these on short notice with Canva. I use the free version, and I'm just going to show you. Again, it's canva.com. And here's what I'm working on now. Homepage is really nice because you can search a template, or you can say, hey, I want to make a logo or an Instagram post or a flyer. But I'm working on something here, and it's just so easy to move and upload, right? If I wanted a different picture here, I have a picture of Dolores Huerta. It's just really easy to change it out. I can undo it, go back to the person that I had before, right? And I can individually move these and upload. So it's really easy. There's lots of tutorials that you can find on YouTube, but I wanted to let you know what it looks like. Okay, so you've got a flyer. Now what are you going to do with it? Again, CAP can fund printing, and if you selected that and were approved for that, we will send you the information on the next steps. But whether or not we're printing things, we want to make sure you get the word out to as many people as possible. So Delta College Marketing, Communications, and Outreach actually has a publicity request form. So I'm going to pull that up to show you what that looks like. You can type in marketing and communications in this bar here, and it will take you there. But this link is also in our event programming guide. All right, so you fill out this information, pretty straightforward. You can upload your flyer if you'd like. You can have a math question here too. But you can really kind of ask to talk to our specialists on campus who really absolutely know how to get the word out. They're also going to be the ones that you're going to contact if you want this to go on the Delta College social media pages. So definitely reach out for that. Now, I also encourage everybody, at least 1 week in advance, but hopefully more, to upload to the calendar of events. So how I get to this normally from our homepage is to scroll to the bottom and to go to the event calendar, and then I can submit my event here. Same thing, right? This is easy information for you to fill out. One thing I want to let you know about is that you should click the part for the event category that says Cultural Awareness Program. What that's going to do is put this at the top of the Cultural Awareness Program's website, which may make it easier for you to share. If you have a photo, you want to say yes, and then you want to email here, follow the instructions to add the photo, right? So this is really great. I love to look at it. I think it's really helpful, and I don't want you to forget that that's an option. Once you send that out and they put this on the calendar event, it then is going to create a really handy website that you can copy and paste and send out, so that people can join your event if it's online, or so that people can register or they can get more information. You're also welcome to share your event with the campus listservs. So if you are in our email platform, just type in campus business and that listserv will pop up, our campus announcements. If you're a faculty member, I think you might also have access to faculty listserv. So type in faculty, there's all faculty, part-time faculty, full-time faculty. And of course, we have really amazing student media here at Delta College, and I want to encourage you to reach out to them and let them know about your event. They may want to cover it, and I especially encourage you to talk to the Collegian or to talk to KWDC Digital Media and Radio. So make sure you reach out to the students so they can help share too. All right, so you've told everyone about your event. You're all set for the day of. What should you consider when you're event planning, whether or not it is a CAP event? You may want to consider in advance inviting and welcoming special guests like the Board of Trustees. You might want to announce where the nearest restrooms are. Definitely provide the speaker or performer with water. You definitely want to set out sign-in sheets. And I love this for in-person because your colleagues may choose to give extra credit if students attend your event. And so students sometimes get nervous that their credit won't be reported. Even if their professor doesn't require a sign-in sheet, they may require that student to tell them more about the event. And this kind of calms students' minds, but it's also a great record for you to know how many students were at the event. So definitely sign-in sheets are a great thing. So you want to bring pens that day too. If you have a small group, consider introducing each of those students, but certainly welcoming all the students. I really want to encourage you to consider reading the Delta College Land Acknowledgement. This is a creation of the Chicanx Latinx Faculty Task Force that was worked on in conjunction with elders of the Yokuts, Plains Miwok, Patwin, and Nishanan tribal groups. And so this land acknowledgement is really important to our campus community, but also to the cultural awareness program. So you can find this link in our materials as well. And then finally, don't forget to announce other upcoming events that you may know about, or directing students where they can learn more. That's always really helpful. Okay, your event went great. What are you going to do next? Well, CAP will have already emailed you to let you know what to do. But part of that is really important, is confirming that the event took place. Telling us that your event took place and that the presenter was there is how we move forward in paying them. And we want to make sure that those folks get paid as quickly as possible. So it's really crucial that you email us to confirm that they were there. If you took photos of the event or videos, we would love to see them at CAP, but also I know that Alex and Victoria would love to see them on Delta College social media. So please share those photos with us. If you have a video of the event and you would like the video of the event to be archived, let's say at the library, reach out to me and I'd be happy to put you in touch with the people that can help you with this. Some of our past events from CAP have been archived. You can check out the videos at the library in person, DVDs and things like this. When you email us to tell us that the event took place, please let us know how many people attended. It's really great. Listen, we've had successful events that have had, small numbers. They're still successful and those students gained a lot from being there. We just really want to know how many students attended so that we can better support you in getting the maximum amount of students that we can. I do want to let you know that checks can take a while. 2 to 6 weeks after you confirm the event. So staying in contact with the presenter. And then if there are any issues, letting us know, we would be happy to help resolve them. The cultural awareness program will decide whether or not an event gets funded, but there's a lot of people involved in making sure the person gets paid. So if they're not getting paid, if something happened, the presenter is really in touch with you. And so we ask that you just let us know and we'll work to resolve the issue. So far we've covered what the cultural awareness program is, what type of funding we have, and what type of events we can fund. We've provided some resources to you if you want to have an event through the cultural awareness program, or if you want to have an event without the cultural awareness program. We're really encouraging you to use our event planning guide. And finally, we just want to reiterate that we are here to support you. We want you to use our event planning guide. We want you to reach out if you have questions. Now, again, you can reach out to the CAP coordinator if you have any questions for 2022 to 2023. That's me, Sarah C. Cates, and my email address is sarah.ccates@deltacollege.edu. I'm really glad that you tuned in today. I really want to encourage you to reach out to me if you have any questions, and I hope you have an awesome day.